What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update for you guys, mainly focusing on the internationals and the international break. And we're going to start off with Son Heung-min, and it is officially announced that he has been pulled out of the South Korea squad, so he won't be going to international break. Although Ange did say in his press conference prior to the Brighton game that he has a small chance to make the game, which was interesting why he has been pulled out, because, you know, South Korea are obviously very heavily reliant on him. He's the captain, he's the talisman, he's the leader, but he has been pulled out, so maybe that's due to like, player welfare side.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, because was it announced yesterday or today? Was it this morning?
I think it was this morning. I think it was, well, yesterday morning.
Was it yesterday morning? It was announced because Ange was asked about it in his press conference, and he said... obviously, he didn't rule him out. He said he's working hard to be fit for Sunday, but the turnaround's going to be a bit too quick for him, so it's unlikely he'll make it. But then he was asked, well, is he going to go to Korea? And then he said, well, if he's not going to be fit enough to play for us, then it stands to reason that he won't be fit enough to play for Korea, the national team. So
maybe he started off trying to play a few mind games with Brighton, and then they caught him out.
Yeah, potentially. So, look, it sounds like he's probably not going to be fit for Sunday. But I just wonder, I wonder if, because he's pulled out of Korea, but is he kind of saying like he wants him to play on Sunday but not play for Korea kind of thing? Well, I just feel like he's not going to be for Sunday. But anyway, it's positive. It's positive in the fact that it sounds like he's kind of not touch and go, but it sounds like there was a slight chance he might be fit for Sunday, which implies it's not a long-term injury. And the fact that it's not long-term and he's going to be taking a 2-week break is really positive, because clearly he was playing too much. Ange admitted he was playing too much. He said in one of the press conferences, I think after the Karabakh game, where he picked up the injury, that Son's probably been playing a bit more than he would have liked because of injuries to Richarlison and Odegaard. So the fact that he's getting a 2-week break is really positive, that hopefully he comes back with a bit of freshness and back to contribute, because obviously he's our best attacker. We're going to need him, and he needs this 2-week break. So that's really good. And the fact that as well we've actually been all right without him, like gotten results anyway, like shows that maybe we can start giving him a break when we need to, because we know at 32 we can't keep playing him as much as we have done, as much as he's an important player for us. So hopefully his 2-week break will do him good. Yeah,
it's just a shame this Brighton game comes like before international break and not after, because like this is like the perfect game for Sonny, isn't it? Like, you know, if Sonny's playing on that left-hand side, like there would have been no questions about Werner, Moore, this, that. Sonny would be there, he'd be getting in behind, and he'll score a bucket load of goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Or get a bucket load of chances anyway.
Yeah, so hopefully it's the right decision, because Korea, obviously, we know how reliant they are on Son, what a big player he is for them, and he's their captain and talisman. So the fact that they've taken the decision to pull him out after, which was also, there was a bit of not controversy, but it was a bit annoying that they decided to put him in the first place, because we thought like he needs a break. It was just after he picked up that injury against Karabakh, they announced he was in the squad. So I'm happy they've pulled him out and he gets this this break. And it sounds like, from their point of view, they said they pulled him out to protect him. So it sounds like they're taking care of him, which is really positive.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, it wasn't even just Ange talking about him being overplayed. He even said it himself. You know, there are too many games, then he got injured the next game. So very frustrating on his part, but definitely positive in terms of Korea definitely looking after him. And you'd expect them, you know, to look after him. He's literally their national figure, so they have to look after him. They've got a duty to look after him. Let's talk about Richarlison now, because some interesting quotes from Ange in the embargo section last night, insinuating that he's going to be back after international break.
Yeah, so he was asked about Richarlison, and he said basically that during the international break, he's going to use that to basically reintegrate Richarlison. They're going to really concentrate on getting Richarlison back on the grass and back training with the first team.
Which we've seen pictures of.
Yeah, we've seen him back on the grass, which is really good. And he said because it's a smaller group, they can really focus on getting Richarlison back fit. And he said it's with a view of, well, once the international break ends, Richarlison should be back in full training and back available. And that's really, really going to be valuable, because we obviously Solanke's had to play a lot. I know Lancashire came in against Ferencvaros and did quite well, but having Richarlison as an option is going to be really important for the season, because we know how good he can be in this system. He showed that last season, but he said some interesting stuff about, you know, Richarlison past 2-3 years he hasn't been able to stay fit and he hasn't been able to sustain full match fitness, and they're really changing their way they're treating him at the moment, trying to do everything right with him and trying to deal with him in a way that means he can stay fit and his fitness can be they could get some stability in fitness, because it's been very stop-start with him over the past couple of years, and that's been really frustrating. So hopefully this could be the end of it. We'll have to obviously, touch wood, and we'll have to wait and see. But look, we saw last season in that stretch when he was fully fit and he was firing, what a valuable member of the squad he can be. When he had that run, he scored 9 goals in 7 games or something, and he looked like he was firing on all cylinders and banging form. And we know at his time in Everton, he can be a really good Premier League striker as well. So having him and Solanke as options up front would only benefit the team, and it means we give Solanke a rest, and as well means we could potentially go with Richarlison and Solanke in some occasions if we need to as well, which could be a very interesting prospect. And he was asked about that as well in the embargoed section. He said, is Solanke and could that be an option? Is that something you want to see? He said, oh, definitely, mate. He said, when we brought Solanke, it was definitely the view of being able to use them together at some points as well as being able to rotate. So really great news that Richarlison hopefully will be back after the international break, and hopefully we'll get to see him back on the pitch.
Yeah, which is good news for Richarlison, good news for us. But it could be bad news for Will Lancashire, because he just got his first opportunity in the first team, and he actually impressed. And I think it proved that he is ready to be part of the team and ready to get first team minutes. But with Solanke and Richarlison, you do kind of imagine that will very much limit Lancashire's game time. Probably.
What I'm hoping for is if Richarlison's back up to match fitness and can showing he's up to it. Hopefully we can really just not play Solanke at all in Europa League games and just have Richarlison and Lancashire for those games. And then because Solanke is so hardworking, he's so good at his pressing, and he's so intense. Like, imagine if we just had a fresh Solanke every Premier League game. That could be really valuable.
Yeah, 100%. Next up, let's talk about the Spanish squad, as Pedro Porro has been rewarded for his fine form so far this season. He got the heartbreak of not being included in the squad in the summer for the tournament, but he is back in the squad now with Spain.
Yeah, and he's well worth the inclusion, because he's been one of the best right backs in the league. It was
a disgrace, wasn't it, that he wasn't called up?
They put Jesus Navas in ahead of him. Obviously, he's now 39. I'm sure he's probably retired.
We could talk about a disgrace all we want. They did go and win the tournament.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so is what it is. Clearly, it was the right decision because they won the whole thing. And I think Navas played a couple of games as well. But Porro is a phenomenal right back. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before he claims that right back slot as his own in the Spanish national team, with Carvajal aging and Navas now 39. I think there's clearly a spot there for him, and the way he's playing this season, both on and off the ball, he's going to be starting for them for many years to come, in my opinion. So great for him that he's back in the squad, and I'm sure he's going to reclaim that spot for his own.
Moving on, let's talk about Lee Carsley's second squad announcement for England. Dom Solanke has been called up. He gets rewarded for his fine form. However, James Maddison does miss out once again, and I haven't actually seen the squad. So who's the striker? Has Tony been dropped off?
Tony has been, it's Watkins,
Watkins, Kane. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense in itself. But I guess the problem that James Maddison has is just the unbelievable talent that they have in that position.
Yeah, but Morgan Gibbs-White got called up. So,
oh, really? Morgan Gibbs-White got called up?
Yeah.
Wow.
And to be fair, Morgan Rogers missed out. So even someone who had as good a start as he had, Morgan Rogers, who's been brilliant for Villa, also missed out. But Maddison, for me, has been one of our best midfielders. One of our best players so far this season, and one of the best midfielders in the league so far. He's playing at a brilliant level, like he was, be probably better than he ever has.
So Foden's gone, yeah.
Foden's in, and so's Bellingham, and so's Palmer. So I'm guessing maybe if he puts him in that category, it's tough. But
Gibbs-White's the strange one. Yeah. I don't think he's been great this season. I mean, he's been part of a Forest team that's obviously been really good this season, but I think Maddison's been head and shoulders above Gibbs-White this season.
I agree. I think he's been really unlucky. So if he just keeps playing like he is, I'm sure he'll get in the squad. But as you say, there's so much talent. But he'll be in there because he's playing unbelievably. You won't be able to ignore him if he keeps playing like this. So I think he's really unfortunate. But it's good for Tottenham. Obviously, he gets a rest for 2 weeks. But Solanke, he's had a cap. Interestingly, he had a cap in 2017 while he was at Liverpool. So I think he apparently scored 1 goal for Liverpool and then got
against
a cap.
Brazil.
Yeah. And then he had all those goals for Bournemouth, never got a cap, and then he scores 3 goals for Tottenham, and he's back in the squad. So it's been a long wait for him. 7 years since he's been out of the squad, but hopefully that will really heighten his confidence, and being around better players as well in the England squad will really he'll really enjoy that, and hopefully that'll give him that kind of air of okay, now I'm back in
I've
the
arrived.
squad, like, I've arrived kind of thing, and like this is what this move is doing for me. So I'm delighted for him. Definitely deserved it because he's been brilliant for Tottenham. I think, ever since he's come here, I think he's shown what he's all about, and he's shown his all-round game. Lee Carsley was speaking about him in his press conference. He said, like, I've known Solanke a lot. I think he said he managed him or something. I don't know.
I think he had him in the level below, the under 21s.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know how long Carsley's been there
because he was a coach before, wasn't he?
But how long has
he managed the team?
Oh, I see. Right, good point. So maybe he's had it when he was a coach. He said, like, I've known Solanke for a long time. I know what he brings. I know his qualities. I'm a big fan of his, all that kind of stuff. So maybe, with Carsley in charge, Solanke will definitely be getting more opportunities. And obviously with Tony going out to Saudi, that obviously probably creates an opening for Dom Solanke as well.
You still think, though, with like Watkins and Kane there, his game time will be limited, won't it?
Yeah, and with Watkins continuing to bang in the goals and Kane being Harry Kane, it's still going to be difficult. But all he can do is keep doing what he's doing for Tottenham, and if he does, he'll be in more squads, and that's all he can do. And I think he'll be great for England if he gets opportunities. I think he's one of those players, even when he's not scoring, he adds so much to the team. We've seen that already for Tottenham. So, really, really happy for him.
He's actually a much better, just like a general footballer than I thought he was before he joined us. Like, I've been actually really impressed with him. But last but not least, let's talk about Rodrigo Banor, because Ange Postecoglou has been speaking in an exclusive interview for Sky Sports, and he's been talking about the importance of Banor in this number 6 role. Yeah,
and it's interesting because of all the talk there was about the 6 role before the season and things like that. The quotes on Banor, he said, talking about the spine of the team, he said it's a real strong spine now. He said Banor has also been pretty important when he's played. That 6th position is a really important one for us, and he's gone under the radar over the last few games. But that goes to show what a good job he's doing. That role is one where it kind of keeps things ticking over for us with the ball and gives us that defensive stability without the ball. The fact that he's done that role without too much attention shows he has been fantastic for us. And, there was a lot of talk before the season. 6 is a very important position. Can Bentancur Basuma fill that role? Are we left ourselves short? Well, Ange is talking up Bentancur at the moment. He has been brilliant the last couple of games, and we talked about Basuma. He's improving. But what do you make out of those quotes and like what Bentancur has been showing in that position?
Look, I've obviously was one that's been critical of the 6th position coming into the season, and also once the season has started. But I've been so impressed with Bentancur in the last few games. He's really started to get back to his best. Basuma as well. I think both of them are really on form, and they're competing really well for that position. So, look, I want to see this over a long stretch of time. I want to see this over the course of the season. It's only been a small sample size now, so it's hard to really give a proper opinion on it. But right now, I couldn't be happier with the way these two are performing. And I think they're actually really adept to the role. They're showing qualities that we need in this role. Really good on the ball. They're really aggressive, able to win the ball back in really key positions on the pitch as well. So as of now, I'm very happy with it. But, it's a long season ahead.
Yeah, but Bentancur did play this role a lot for Juventus team, who won lots of league titles. He was quite a regular feature in that team as well. I know he had that big injury, but now he seems to be getting over it, and he seems to be getting back to his best. So, is there any reason why he can't be our solution to that problem?
No, there isn't. And I was actually one that was saying when he was playing in a Conte system in the 8, when Højbjerg was in the 6, I was saying that there's no reason why Bentancur can't play in the 6 in his team. Obviously, he didn't do it that much in Conte's system. But look, we all were kind of worrying whether Bentancur can get back to his best. And now it looks like he will be getting back to his best, and he is playing at a very high level now. So there's no reason why Bentancur can't do it.
Yeah, let's hope we can keep it up. But at the moment, I think the 6th, no one's talking about the 6th position right now, are they? And I think that goes to show how well those two players are playing. Absolutely.
When things are good, they're great. So let's keep it going, Tottenham. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we've talked about today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.